Welcome to the Purple People podcast. If we were
We
going to
really need a
be,
sound to go over that.
I didn't know that there was no sound, but it's pretty funny. The comedy of that is awesome. I don't know what dish we would be, Adam. What dish would we be if we were in the microwave, heating up, ready to get going? I know we're going to serve up some hot takes today, but that's not food. So
See, I was going to say hot dish since we're in Minnesota for the Vikings here.
there you go. I'm trying to think of my favorite comfort food.
Do you like tater tot hot dish?
I've only had it a few times, but yes, you have me at tater tot. Anything. I think my favorite comfort thing to reheat. I always think like you're probably reheating something in some kind of like hamburger helper or some kind of chili. I'm always down for a good bowl of chili. So we could be your hearty bowl of Vikings takes into chili form. That's what we're gonna do.
And Mr. West is on vacation, so hopefully he'll be back next week.
MC Sports, what's up, man? I'm excited to talk about this. We do wish that Kyle was here. He's going on vacation, so travel safe. Bring us something cool back, and enjoy yourself. But we're going to talk about the 2025 Viking season. We're going to hit on the kickoff last night. There is a game tonight, actually, which is weird to say, and kind of go game by game
on YouTube. I know a lot of people probably watch us on YouTube.
Yep.
But you can watch that game on YouTube, which is pretty cool.
That is cool. I am not going to see it. I am going to... Well, no, I'll see a little bit of it. I lied. There's the new Conjuring movie near me. Starts in 1 hour. I highly doubt that you and I are going to be done in 20 minutes for the show for me to drive. So I'm going to go at 10 tonight. Maybe I'll watch a little bit of the Chiefs and the Chargers.
I have been watching The Paper on Peacock.
The Paper? What's that about?
It's a spin-off of The Office.
Ha! That's awesome.
And so far, I really like it.
You know what? If you say that you like it, it must be living up to it, because Adam is our resident Office guy, and I appreciate that.
I've watched that series a couple times.
Yeah, he's familiar. And you know what? I'm the spinoff of that too, because I've watched Parks and Rec now, I think 3 full times, and there's a shitload of those episodes. So
yeah, I've watched that
you.
a couple times, and 30 Rock, I probably watched that 3-4 times.
30 Rock's a great show.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I love those sitcoms.
Wonderful show as well. Even though I don't like the city of Philadelphia, Always Sunny in Philadelphia is hilarious as well.
We got MC Sports here talking about Randy Moss and his cancer in remission, and that's fantastic. But did you hear the Brett Favre Parkinson's news?
I mean, I remember him saying at some point this year or last year that he was diagnosed, but I don't know if it's worse.
Yeah, apparently it's getting pretty bad.
I have to put aside my bias for, looking at the guys that I grew up idolizing and loving about sports. Like on the field, I don't think there was a grittier player outside of who asked this question? Was it Chris Long? I can't remember what it was in my YouTube shorts, but there was an old school NFL player, and he had like 20 broken noses. How many broken ribs? Back in the day where they would just smoke cigarettes on the sideline. But in my era, Brett Favre was the toughest player. Like that, the Iron Man streak alone, had he not won a Super Bowl, would have been impressive enough. But the stats are there, all that. But I have to separate the fact that he was kind of a turd.
Right.
Addiction, I'm not going to make fun of, because I've seen the ebbs and flows of that. Sometimes it's your fault, sometimes it's not, based on your decisions. The text messages and then the money stuff, I've lost a lot of respect for Favre over the years, but I'm not surprised with the Parkinson's stuff, because his body took such a beating for like 20 years. And this is even before, like, Tom Brady is one of the rare anomalies where he puts so much money investing into his physical health. I don't think you'll see those kind of effects on him for a while, but he was still 10 years after Favre got in the league. Favre was still in the league where they would try to handicap you, literally. And
what's crazy is when you get a lot of money and fame, sometimes those decisions don't come as easy, and we're seeing that with quite a few players these days, and sadly, recently with Everson Griffin.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. We were talking about it in the chat. I'm not going to say anything negative about Emerson. I really do hope he gets the help that he
Yeah, I
needs.
hope he gets back on track.
There's obviously something there. Like when we think about him, he does have a history of having some troubles, mental health wise, and a couple of arrests. I just think about his family. You know, I follow his wife on Instagram. He's got a beautiful family. He's made enough money in his career. He can live comfortably. But, you know, at some point, and not to dive into his personal stuff, Everson, I know he's not going to listen to this. We are huge fans and we support the hell out of you. You have some iconic moments in the last 10 to 15 years with this show that we love. But there is going to be a point to where that could be, you know, over the edge one too many times. And I hope it doesn't reach that point with him and his family. Luckily, this wasn't like a super egregious thing. Not like, oh my gosh, they found lots of drugs. They found
Yeah, it didn't seem like anybody got hurt or anything like that.
But 130 miles an hour, you know, and you're on probation as is, like you got to make better decisions than that. So I hope they can come to some sort of agreement. I hope that this is the last time we hear about that. And
it's kind of like the Jordan Addison thing too. I hope he learned his lesson.
Man, all the talent in the world, you know. And you hope that it's a one-off and it's just a one night of like getting a little amped up and doing something crazy versus habitually this is going to be a thing. But best of luck to him. It's sad to hear, but hopefully he'll get everything he needs to get back on track. Let's talk about last night. Adam, the NFL season kicked off. Dallas was in Philly. Seeing the Eagles raise another banner made me physically sick. I hate that town. I hate the fans the most of any people in the world.
The GM put together a great roster.
You know what? I'm going to do my fun and have my bit on why I hate them, but I'll tell you right now, like football aside, they have a formula that you kind of just can't argue with. I still do believe Patrick Mahomes is a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. I know Andy Reid's a better coach than Nick Sirianni, but it's not about just two people in the organization. It literally takes a village to make a football team a championship team.
And did you see who they signed today?
The Eagles?
Yeah.
No.
Zadarius Smith.
Really? Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. He'll have some out-of-body experience game where he has like 6 sacks. Like a couple of years ago, you remember Khalil Mack had 5 sacks in one game. He'll have that in Philly, of course. Well, good for him. I hate Philadelphia, and I hope they don't win another game. But
I still don't really understand how he wasn't really happy or fitting in Minnesota. But I hope wherever he's at, he can make things work out.
That was weird. He'll always be known as a Packer to me. Bouncing around a couple teams since then. I guess he's ring chasing at this point, but
yeah, he wasn't happy in Green Bay either. But I understand finding that fit where you feel like you belong and can contribute can be real tough.
It's kind of tough because that year that he joined the Vikings, first year with Kevin O'Connell, that defense and that coach defensively wasn't good. So I could understand him wanting to get out. But if there's a defensive coach you want to play for, it's Brian Flores. I think he would have did great in this role. I don't know how much he would have cost. I don't know that he would have produced like Van Ginkel or Grenard, but he would have fit in. No doubt.
It would have been strange to see the path that the Vikings would have taken if he would have stuck around, because I don't know if we'd have, Van Ginkel, Grenard, Dallas Turner, the strong
probably
pass rush group that we got.
Maybe Dallas Turner would be here because of age, but yeah, Van Ginkel or Grenard probably wouldn't be there, I would guess. That seems to be off the top of my head, but congrats to him. I didn't hear that news. That's awesome. If you saw the game last night, this was the first game since the kickoff rule started in the early 2000s where there was a score, I think, almost every possession of the game -1, I think. I was listening
They
earlier.
scored every possession of the first half, both teams.
I mean, if I'm Roger Goodell, I'm thinking, man, that's exactly what I want. I don't want a stalemate of 7-3 or 3-0 going into halftime. That was a very exciting game.
In this game, we got a good taste of why the Vikings built a stadium with a roof and, lightning safety and everything, because those delays were painful.
So I get up at 4 a.m. for work. I did not stay up for all this game. I tried my best to vest a little bit of interest into it, so I made it to halftime. When I rolled over to check at the end of the third quarter, I saw a delay, and I was thinking, man, what the heck happened? And then, in my sleepy, stupor, I was like, oh, it's probably like a thunderstorm or something close by.
Yeah, I guess there was a lightning strike within 6 miles, and they got to shut things down for that and clear the lower bowl.
Yeah, you gotta be safe when it comes to all those people gathered in one spot. I understand that, but they did finish. 24-20, the Eagles won, so they had their banner ceremony. They beat a division rival, probably their biggest rival in the division, and we learned a lot about both teams last night. I think the consensus after consuming some sports media today was Dallas is still a lot better than we're giving them credit for. As you know, from the last time we spoke, Micah Parsons was traded to the Green Bay Packers, which is kind of Vikings news because that sucks for us. He's a very, very good player, and now he's going to be in the division for years to come. They signed him to a mega deal, so he'll be there for a while.
He's a very good player, but I do feel like he can be a liability against the run because he does overcommit to the pass rush sometimes, and maybe that'll work out.
He is a little bit of a freelancer, but that's fine. I mean, he's talented enough. Like, if he were on the Vikings, he's at the level defensively where Justin Jefferson is offensively. I would if the Vikings traded him, I'd be pretty pissed.
A couple years ago, the Packers head coach was on a podcast talking about how he slowed him down when he faced him in the past, and he said we had Aaron Jones to block him.
Wow.
Like, oh.
Well, that's convenient. If only we had an Aaron Jones on the Vikings to help block. That would be cool.
Because I got to write a pretty cool article about that over on the Viking Age.
Oh, that's cool. And you remember to that specific moment. That's pretty awesome. You see, this is the stuff that I just nerd out on. If I could sit down with Kevin O'Connell for only an hour or two, I'm sure he would be fun and nice enough to be like, no, tell me about your life and tell me your story. And I would tell him, whatever he wants to know. But I would just say, like, what would you tell me as the common fan that I need to watch?
To be fair, your story is pretty interesting. Mine, not so much.
Yeah, but I think we could all give him a little, what is it, entertainment and impression. Like, we could impress him in some way, all of us, with our story, because this is going to be different from what he knows.
Oh, absolutely.
I know he would spin it in a fun way to kind of like shit on himself too. He'd be like, well, I got cut by the Jets, so that was a highlight of my life. Like, something funny like that. But, the Micah Parsons leaving Dallas and going to Green Bay is not good news for the NFC North. I think it further makes the push that I said about 2 months ago, listening to John Middlecoff from The Vault and Colin Cowherd's side project, is I think Green Bay is the front runner to win the division. I think they are a dark horse in the NFC. Last year, Jordan Love was hurt pretty much since week one and battled through it. Shout out to him and his toughness. But they have a good roster. They drafted a first-round wide receiver. They're hitting their prime age-wise.
But they do have question marks. I mean, Jordan Love isn't a established real commodity. The wide receiver they drafted had drop problems in college.
Sure.
The pass rusher they just got can overcommit to the pass and be a liability in the run sometimes. I mean, there are question marks, and they're a real young roster. Really young. But I feel like all these moves this year has made the NFC North kind of almost level playing field. I'm not quite there to put the Bears in there and in the mix quite yet.
Right.
But, they're also a team on the rise.
They are, and we have to give them their flowers. They're doing everything on paper they should to support a first overall pick. We're not going to debate whether or not Caleb Williams is talented enough. He has got all the talent in the world. He's struggling with the part that college to the NFL is 90% of what makes you successful isn't your physical ability. It's can you decipher what's about to happen and then premeditate how you're going to react to that correctly. And that was a major issue for him last year. And what I find interesting, kind of previewing game one, we're going to talk about the Cowboys and do that before we start previewing that. But what I find interesting is they're talking about Ben Johnson versus Brian Flores, and that's going to be the matchup for this game, 100%. Ben Johnson had great success in Detroit. I don't know that the Bears have as talented a defensive roster as the Lions do, but I don't know. We'll see. I really believe with how much that they like to blitz, that could come into the favor. But I'm telling you right now, Brian Flores likes to blitz a lot. I don't know if we're going to see him be that aggressive this game. I would love to see him make Caleb Williams beat you from the pocket. I don't know that he can do that. I haven't seen him do it yet. What I saw last year, and you correct me if I'm wrong, any Caleb Williams footage you saw, he tried to play hero ball like he did at USC a lot. And I've found that these younger quarterbacks, if you just sit back and ask them to take the layup, it's very hard because they get kind of flustered. And they're like, but I got to make a play. Well, your play here is a 7-yard out route. I don't need you to throw it 35 yards down the line. Can you do the basic stuff right?
And a great example of this evolution is Baker Mayfield. I mean, when he came in the NFL, he was trying to make things happen like he did in college.
Yeah.
He wanted to be this playmaker, making the big plays, getting the highlights. And as soon as he got to Tampa Bay, he realized, okay, I can settle down.
Yeah.
I can make these 7-yard passes, 7-8 yard passes, and make things happen. And now he's looking like a long-term starter there for Tampa.
I'm glad he found his spot. I really like him. I think he's a good person. I think he's a little misunderstood. Yeah, I couldn't be a bigger Baker Mayfield fan. He seems like one of the boys, too. I feel like you can just crack a beer with him on a Saturday, and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, throw me one," you know. It's funny you say like just take the layup and just do the basics right, because I feel like when you take these simple like, "Hey, we're going to run a screen," just don't overthrow the ball, or "Hey, we're going to do a 7-yard slant," just hit the guy on the money. It's a 3-step drop back. Let's throw it here. Then that's when the bombs happen. That's when play action comes around.
You say just take a layup, and all I'm picturing in my head is I've got this account that I follow on TikTok, and all it does is show every shot and every mistake that Angel Reese makes.
Well, there's a lot of those. She's very bad at her job. Oh my gosh.
And she does not make a lot of her layups.
But she gets a lot of me bounds, and
That's right.
those are definitely in the stat sheet, and they shouldn't be. I think if you get a rebound from somebody else, that should count. Your own rebound shouldn't count, but that's another story for another day. But the point for that is, I heard something recently, and I wish that I had the source so you guys could watch it. Kevin O'Connell, in choosing J.J. McCarthy in the draft, says, when we look at Michigan, everybody always likes to poo-poo on McCarthy. So, well, he's not the reason they won. Sure, I can tell you a strong offensive line and run game and a great defense and a great head coach is probably why they won. But I'm looking at the most important position. Number one, don't mess it up. He didn't mess it up. He can do the basic things there. And then think about the most common things that you see among the greats, like a Tom Brady. If you ever watch a Tom Brady drive, 90% of the time, he's not throwing a bomb to Randy Moss down the sideline. It's a lot of death by paper cuts. It's a lot of 3 here, 7 here, 5 here. That's what you need. I need you in the biggest moments of the game to just do the most common play and execute it perfectly. And I'm hoping and praying and investing my emotion into J.J. McCarthy.
And let's be honest, the Vikings did everything they could to surround him with what he needs to have to just thrive as a quarterback in this league.
Yes, 100%. I love this coaching staff. I love not only the coordinators and the head coach, I love the position coaches. Just looking in at who they have, Josh McCown. I love that Keenan McCardell is still here as a wide receiver coach. They have so much depth and knowledge around, especially to J.J. McCarthy. The sky's the limit. As long as he doesn't get in his own way, I mean, good luck, man. The sky's the limit for that kid. But I digress. Let's talk about last night's game, and then we're going to go week by week and break down everything. So we have to address the Jalen Carter stuff because it's a national thing now. Let's just sum it up real quick. You can't spit on people. It's gross. It's disrespectful.
Well, you see, like the defense now is, well, Dak spit on the turf near Carter. Carter was just returning. It's like, what?
No. And I'll tell you what it is. If you're a habitual offender and you have penalties, I'm gonna hold that more against you. It works the same way in court. I realize the NFL isn't court, so don't come at me for that. But in the NFL, it does work. Like if you and I were players, if you're my O lineman and I'm the fullback or whatever, and I get suspended for performance-enhancing drugs, whatever the minimum is, I do that. Well, let's say next season I get it again. I'm getting a bigger suspension the next time because they're like, hey, dummy, we already suspended you once. Now you get more because you can't pay attention to the rules and follow them. So, I forget what it is. He came into the league last year?
Yeah.
Last year. He's the most penalized player. And it's not like 2 or 3. It's in double digits at this point.
And Philly also got called for taunting and roughing the quarterback. And
They were a little sloppy yesterday. And what I don't like from Philly is, and I know the head coach would address it, is, dude, you're our best player on defense. You are the number one most planned for player on this defense, and you didn't play a single snap for us. It's very selfish, and I don't care what the offense is. I would rather Dak Prescott spit in my face and he get ejected from the game because that'll have a bigger impact for Dallas. But you just want to act tough and think it's funny and cool and be disrespectful. Number one, you deserve to be ejected. I 100% agree with that. He will get a fine of some sort. Now it comes down to, should he get suspended? And I think that's in the eye of the beholder. I don't know what the correct answer is on that, if it's yes or no.
If this had been during the COVID era, absolutely he would have been.
100%. The script writer, tinfoil hat people will say if he gets suspended, it's another way to help out the Chiefs because they do play the Chiefs next in Arrowhead, so that's funny. Um, I don't know, man. I think spitting is mad disrespectful, and I probably would give him one more for that, even though the people are saying, well, he was suspended for this game. No, no, you get ejected. That's not a
Right.
suspension. Ejected is you had the opportunity. Suspension, you don't have the opportunity. So that verbiage there, whether you want to say I'm trying to be a lawyer for this, ejected and suspended are two completely different things because the premise is different. I would probably suspend him for a game, and I wouldn't suspend Dak, but I would give him a fine too to be like, hey, how about we not go near the vicinity of anyone and spit anywhere?
Right.
If you're in your huddle, I can assume you're not spitting on your own players unless that's some weird ritual you guys have. Dak walks out of his huddle and spits at the ground. I will say that is you are kind of instigating there, but it doesn't matter. You have to let other people instigate. And
Football players spit on the turf constantly.
that's fine. That's totally fine. And if Dak had done that inside his team's huddle, I wouldn't have thought a thing about it. Walking towards him and doing that does feel like a little bit of a taunt or like, hey, I'm trying to bait him, as the internet is saying. But point blank, you don't spit in someone's chest or face area ever for any reason. And two, dude, how stupid are you? The referee is literally right there. He's literally right there.
You don't have the restraint to be like, okay, okay, I'm not retaliating.
Because I'll tell you this right now, we can play the what if game with the 2009 NFC Championship game. What if this happened? What if this didn't happen? Last night, if CeeDee Lamb only catches one of those three horrible drops, and if Jalen Carter doesn't do that or is around, this game's not 4-point game. Like, you see how I can swing it for both teams? If
If
Jalen
AJ
Carter's...
Brown didn't give me 1.8 fantasy points.
That's the thing about Philly, man. Talking about how they built the team. If you take out their 1 and 2 tandem at wide receiver, they're just going to beat you with Saquon Barkley. Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley will beat you, or the two fabulous receivers they have will burn you. It's crazy.
And you noticed at times when Dallas tried to play the pass, they just scrambled and picked up yardage. That's all they did.
That's all they did. Dallas had actually pretty good coverage for most of the
Not
night.
bad.
And they were like, hey, we'll stack the box against Saquon. Cool. You still have to leave a spy for the quarterback who can run. Like,
Right?
it's crazy, man. It's crazy how so many years of football happened, but still the same kind of things like you and I can still see like, no, you're focused on Saquon. He didn't hand it to Saquon. Shit. But yeah, the Jalen Carter thing, had he not done that and showed restraint, I think this is easily a 7 to 10 point game in favor of Philly. Because Dallas doesn't have nearly as good of a run game as Philly, but if
Those
he's
first
there,
couple drives, Dallas was really running the ball pretty well, and
correct.
I don't know if it would have been that easy otherwise.
I think you and I are on the same page. CeeDee Lamb has to be better. I'm sure he'll beat himself up the rest of the season. Kind of like last year, I think Baltimore played Kansas City, and it came down to like one or two little boneheaded drops or feet not in the position to get down enough. Like, it's a game of inches, and for Dallas to go into Philly, hostile environment, banner raising ceremony, and to lose by 4, they surprised me last night, and I don't think Dallas is going to roll over for anyone. Even after losing Micah Parsons, they did add George Pickens, and I think they have probably a little chip on their shoulder because they hear about it, like, well, the Giants got better, and Washington was in the NFC Championship game with the Eagles and won the Super Bowl. Like,
And I'll
everybody's
be honest, I
overlooking
wasn't
us.
expecting much from Dallas this season. Watching
Yeah.
this game, they looked like a capable team.
Yeah, if that's the way they play the whole season, they'll be fighting for a playoff spot, I'm sure. I don't think they're going to roll over for anyone. So I'm glad the game was at least entertaining. I hate the entire city of Philadelphia and anyone who resides there or supports it. And fuck you, birds. I'm not going to ever support you. I hate you. Thank you very much. I'm still bitter about 2017. I'm never going to let it go. Cool. Adam, I had this conversation the other day. One of my friends said, good shout out to Ben. He's one of my Air Force buddies. He's like, yeah, it was yesterday. He goes, go Birds. Like the start of the season. I was like, I will never say that.
No.
I'm scarred for life. He goes, I'm not going to lie, man. The first 2 drives of that game, you had me worried. And I say, you know what? I'm glad, almost glad that happened. I wish the score was closer because that was brutal to watch and sit around Philadelphia fans for 3 hours. But do we really think Philly and New England both almost scored 50 points apiece? Do we really think the Vikings were going to have like a legit shot? I don't think they would have had a legit shot against that Patriots. Planning against Bill Belichick.
Have you ever watched
Ugh.
Peacemaker?
Peacemaker. Why does
The
that sound
HBO
familiar?
show with John Cena?
No.
Okay, there's a character on there who has bird blindness, and he mistakes an eagle for a duck. It's pretty great.
No, but that sounds amazing.
So I'm glad I explained that rather than just making the joke, because you'd have looked at me like, what?
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, that's a good throughput. Yeah, that's funny. No, I haven't seen
That
it. But
show
I'll
is
have to,
definitely worth watching.
Peacemaker. Okay. Nice. Adam always has good recommendations. I'm stoked for that. All right, let's get into it, man. The season's kicked off last night. The Chargers and Chiefs are playing in Brazil here shortly, and Sunday there's
And
a
we
whole
gotta
slate
wait
of
till the
games.
last game of the week to see the Vikings in action. I hate it.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm too old and in a routine for my schedule at work. I took Tuesday off. I'm not staying up until 11.
So you're watching the new Red Zone with ads?
I'm not. I paid for YouTube TV. I'm sorry, I paid for Sunday Ticket thanks to a great discount. Shout out to them for giving veterans and military a good discount on that, but absolutely not. I'm sad for Red Zone fans. You know, it's not my thing because I like watching my team and just that game in general. But I'm sad that they have just what did George Carlin say a long time ago? They smeared their logo feces all over this and like made this into some like commercial type deal. I'm really sad for people on that.
So here is where I'm at with this. I can get Google Play points for free doing like surveys and
Nice.
you know at playing games and whatever. And I'm able to use those points. I redeemed those for an NFL Plus subscription, and I am
Cool.
going to upgrade that and get the Red Zone on there so I can watch Red Zone on Sunday, which is going to be kind of good. I like that when I can watch and see what my fantasy players are doing. That's cool.
Yeah, that's fun. I'm playing fantasy this year. I can't wait to tell you guys later who I drafted. You're gonna laugh at me. Adam knows my team, and
I drafted 2 Eagles.
I went old school and a little heavy on the running backs, and I am immediately regretting all of it. So we could talk about that. We could talk about that in a little while.
So I drafted Derrick Henry for one reason and one reason only. Are you aware of his deal that he made with Adam Sandler?
Yes, if he gets 2,000 yards, he'll get to be in a movie.
Absolutely. So come on, Derrick Henry, get those yards.
You know what? If he runs for 2,000, that probably means the Ravens are going to the Super Bowl, and I'm okay with that. I have Chiefs fatigue. I'm sick of seeing them.
At work, they asked us to predict the champions that are the conference championships and the Super Bowl winner, and I do have the Ravens winning.
The whole thing or going to the Super Bowl?
Whole thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that. I hope the NFC wins every year if I have to come down to it, and then obviously I want the Vikings to do it. But I'm ready to see Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson win a Super Bowl. I don't think Cincinnati's defense is worthy of going to and winning a Super Bowl, so I'm going to leave them out, even though Joe Burrow is a great player.
Who knows? Maybe Justin Herbert will win a playoff game.
My brother would hate you for that so much. He told me yesterday, he's like, dude, we got to do a sports podcast together. I was like, I've been waiting for years for you to get a server or an interface to do that. He's like, I can't. These people are just keep talking shit about Justin Herbert, and it's getting on my nerves. I was like, I don't think that's your issue. I don't think that's a problem with your team. I said, but it is time to. We all have agree. It's time to shit or get off the pot. He's got to win at least one playoff game. But
Wes makes a good point there. Division games being outside the U.S.
Oh,
I
100%.
don't like that either.
100%. I think the only games that should be played overseas in any capacity are 2 different conferences playing, because at least then you will probably get a representation fairly of the 2 conferences, or possibly maybe it'll be some teams that are kind of far apart geographically. It'll give you a better sense of like 2 completely different fan bases sometimes.
And there's already enough in these division games to get the interest, the intrigue, the viewers and all that.
Yeah.
They're all good.
Wes, I agree 100%. They are perverting the game horribly with every money grab, and it starts with like we were just talking about NFL Plus and Sunday
games
Ticket.
on Netflix, and
It's trash, dude. I paid for Sunday Ticket, and through I think that website is ID Me or Verified or whatever. It's government affiliated stuff. Like you can upload your ID, and they're like, okay, it's legit. We see it.
now Sunday Ticket, you only get like the noon and the afternoon games, right?
Dude, I just found that out last night, so that's what I was gonna say. I'm so irritated with that. So I get Sunday Ticket for like half price. I think it was like $199, which that's not terrible. But then I go to log in and they're like, no, you have to have the base plan for YouTube TV, which even with a discount is like $70 a month.
Oh, it's
And I was
bad.
like, what the fuck? That's how much money am I going to have to pay to watch NFL football? And then I realized, oh, if it's a nationally televised game like the Thursday, Sunday, or Monday night games, you have to get the apps that they're on for that. And I was like, this is all just a money grab. Everything is about them money. And what they're missing here and not doing right by fans is each team should have their own subscription service to where you can pay for the season or buy standalone a la carte games. They are missing the mark on this so badly, and it needs to be an option for fans. I don't understand why they can't do that.
I would totally buy a Vikings subscription. Without a
100%.
doubt.
Every year I would buy it. Hey, no matter what your location, you get all 17 of the regular season games for this price. Yeah, let's do it. As soon as you make it available, I'll buy it. But I digress. We're half an hour in. We haven't even talked about these games we're going to predict. We got to get there eventually. I'm so pumped for this game. I'm mad that it's Monday night. I'm mad that it starts on the road. But I'm ready to see the J.J. McCarthy era begin. I really want to see what he's about. He's sneaky athletic. I'll be honest, I didn't want him. I wanted Drake May, and that didn't happen. Now I'm putting all my investment into Kevin O'Connell saying, we didn't have to pick this kid.
Do you remember which quarterback I wanted?
Who did you want? Hold on. In that draft,
Yep.
did you want Bo Nix?
I did want Bo Nix.
Yeah. That's my fantasy quarterback this year. Dude, everybody is riding the Broncos jockstrap hard this year. And you know what? I don't need them to win the Super Bowl. I just need Bo Nix to take a leap because he's got, how many years of experience does he have with college and NFL now? 6 seasons?
I don't know, but he was fantastic last year.
Yeah, he was very good. I looked it up the other day when I was drafting. I was going to pick him or Brock Purdy, and I looked, and they had very similar stats, probably along the same echelon of quarterback. And then I looked to see, I'm like, okay, Bo had 4 or 5 rushing touchdowns. He threw 27 touchdowns his rookie year? Holy
Right.
shit. Wait, let's think about that for a second. Sam Darnold, we talked about last year, 4,000 yards, 35 touchdowns. That's a great season. 27 is not that far off from 35.
No.
And that's more of the Sean Payton teams are always going to be run the ball, and we got to have a good O-line, D-line. So, because to be honest, Cortland Sutton's and who's the other guy? Mims?
Yeah.
That doesn't scare me. They're good, but that's not Addison and Jefferson.
No.
That's not Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Those guys are okay. 27 touchdowns? Okay, let's make it 32 this year. I'm rooting for Bo Nix because I got him on my fantasy league, but that's because my plan was stupid. We'll talk about my terrible fantasy plan later. All right, I'm going to throw this graphic up. I'm not going to keep it up the whole time, but I do want us to at least get a visual for everyone here. So this is the 2025 Vikings schedule on the left-hand side going down, and then starting on the right-hand side going down as well. So Adam, we're going to do a rapid-fire thing here. We don't have to count and tally. I've got my notes open here. But I'm just going to go based on, the totality of things, the weather, how many times in a row, they're going on this run of back-to-back international games. The bye week has to be, and whatever your reasoning is, and we can break it down. Do you have the first one in week 1 at Chicago as a win or a loss?
I feel good about that one. I'm going to give that one a win.
I'm going against my better judgment here. I'm going to do that too. I'm going to give them a dub for Chicago. Atlanta, the home opener Sunday night.
I love Minnesota in that one.
Nice. I like them as well. We're both agreeing 2-0 to start. All right, week 1 noons versus the Cincinnati Bengals.
Now, here's the problem with that one. I'm going to be at that game. I am 9-0 at games I go to. That one would be 10-0, so I have to hope that was a win. I will pick win.
I'm going to give them their first loss of the season. While I do believe they can score enough points to beat the Bengals, I don't know that with this blitz-heavy defensive coordinator we have, you can't blitz Joe Burrow. He'll get rid of the ball. And I don't trust not one corner that we have to guard Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I'm just going to say it outright.
Were you on X during that Eagles game last night?
No, I do not have Twitter or X anymore.
Eagles fans were tweeting, Isaiah Rodgers, where are you? Where are their corners getting burnt? Where did you go?
Yeah, that's funny. I'm glad. I hope he proves me wrong. I still feel, especially with the limited number of corners that we have, I still feel that's a big red flag for this team. But Yeah, Joe Burrow and company, they can do it on offense, and I don't think blitzing him is going to be a smart thing to do. So hopefully they game plan for that. But I'll give the Vikings a loss there and give a formidable opponent the win. They haven't played well, or they haven't beaten Cincinnati in a while now, so it's going to be hard to pick that one. All right, this one is going to be, I believe, in Ireland. Yeah, 2 away games. I'm glad these aren't considered home games for the Vikings. Ireland against the Steelers.
Boy, I could go back and forth on this one as far as whether I like Minnesota or not, but because it's on neutral ground and Minnesota's got that great record in Europe, I do think this is another win.
Yeah, I have it too. Aaron Rodgers is fine. I just don't trust him at 40-something years old. 5 years ago, I would still be like, well, probably a loss to Aaron Rodgers because he's awesome. He has shown a bit of a decline, and outside of DK Metcalf, I don't really know of anyone that I really am scared of on that team.
No. Well, not offensively anyway.
No, not at all. At Cleveland in London.
Do you think it'll still be Joe Flacco at that point?
I think so. I think if they're going to roll with, and I don't know the Cleveland Browns schedule. I know it's a pretty bad gauntlet from what I remember. I don't see a reason why they should get rid of Joe if he's your best option. I don't think he's going to finish the season as a starter there. He hasn't finished a full season in almost 8 years. So, but it's early in the season. I think he'll be there. That gives him a decent chance. I think the Vikings squeak this one out by a field goal. They'll be a tough team. Their defense is really good.
Yeah, this one's in London, right?
Yeah.
Boy, Minnesota loves London.
They do. They are very good there. I hope
do you know
they
who
continue.
really plays well every time they go to London?
Adam Thielen.
Adam Thielen.
He sure does.
So, I'm going to take a win on that one.
All right, awesome.
I got Minnesota at 5-0, which is crazy.
I've got them at 4-1. I think we both are in the same neighborhood there. I could see that happening.
And they are going to win the heck out of that bye week.
They're going to be the best team that week with a bye. I think we both agree. I don't think they're up to Philly's spar yet. I don't think that they're going to get blown out. This isn't going to be.
I think they'll be competitive against Philly, but I don't think there's going to be enough there.
It'll be interesting to see what the game plan is defensively against those great offensive players there. But I'll give them a loss against Philly.
John has 3-2 to kick off, and I'm wondering who those 2 losses are. It's got to be like Cincy and Pittsburgh, right?
Oh, cool. I didn't know that you could see us both here on the screen. I just have the schedule up. Sweet. I feel stupid for not knowing that. 3-2. Yeah, John, who do you have? That would be great. Chime in and we'll put you up here. We don't have too many comments rolling out. I realize that it's a Friday, and people
we knew it was going to be quiet today, and that's fine. We just need to get a show out, so I'm glad for the people that were able to tune in.
For sure.
And, the people that are going to listen to later, too, we always appreciate that. Because we were number 8 on Podomatic last week. 8.
Number 8. We're usually 2 or 3 or sometimes 1. I don't know how we were 8 and we had a show that was this week, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, whatever. It's bogus. I'm going to do my Trump impression and be like, it was rigged. Steelers and Bears. That's fair.
Oh, okay.
That's fair. It's week 1 could get squirrely and weird. I've seen weirder things happen. And the Vikings have started out 0-1 plenty of times in my fandom and been fine.
I do like getting that game at Soldier Field out of the way super early.
Yeah, the cold weather there, I don't like it at all. You're going to have to
still going to be cold.
You're going to play a cold weather game possibly in Green Bay as well. But, yeah, getting one of those out of the way the very first week, I'm with you there. So here's the weird one. We both agree Philly's probably above the Vikings as far as talent and all that. But this is the one I don't. This is probably the hardest one to judge. Going that far and going across the country, I do think this Chargers team is better. I feel for my brother. What was their left tackle? Rashawn Slater. Excellent player. Sucks that he's out. Joe Alt was a wonderful pick. That's such a Jim Harbaugh pick.
Yeah, the Chargers losing their best player hurts real bad.
That sucks. That sucks a lot. I am a doggone good fan of that running back in L.A. That Omarion Hampton is a North Carolina Tar Heel, and he is damn good.
And they scraped up the Vikings killer Keenan Allen, who always has an amazing game against Minnesota.
He does. It only took one season in Chicago and Caleb Williams for him to be like, I'm not doing that. I could see this being a loss. I don't think that Chargers team is going to roll over for anyone. And that, as much as the NFC North is probably the toughest division in football, obviously the AFC West is right up there with Denver getting all the love. Vegas is absolutely going to be better. And dude, the Chargers play everybody pretty tough. I think this team's better. I think next year they are going to be one of the more formidable teams. They're going to finally nail a wide receiver on the roster at some point, and then it's going to be lights out. You're going to have a good running back, good tackles, at least a true number one. It's a Jim Harbaugh team, and they're going in multiple years and going.
Well, I know Minnesota's got their question marks at quarterback, but I think the Chargers have way too many question marks right now. I can't, in good mind, be like, yeah, they're the better team. I can't say that.
Sure.
So I got Minnesota there.
All right. Next is in Detroit. I don't like them in Detroit at all. I still think Detroit's roster is very good. I do think you will see an effect from not having Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn there. Like, it happened in Philly, and Philly's a better team. That year after they went to the Super Bowl and both the coordinators left, they didn't look the same right around this time of the year. So I'm going to hope the same thing happens with Minnesota. I'm going to have them splitting with the Lions, and finally, I don't think they're going to go 3 years in a row not winning against the Lions. I think it's going to happen. They're going to win at some point. I just don't think it's going to be in Detroit.
So I got 6-2 in the first 8 games.
That's 5-1. I had them 5 and I had 3 losses after that. That's 4-4. Yep. I'll get them 4-4. We'll have some growing pains. This is the part of the schedule where it could go either way. That second half is really weird. I don't think they are good enough to beat the Ravens, but I do like them at home. I am going to do the shocking win of the season and have them winning at home against the Ravens.
I got a loss there. That run game is just too strong. I don't like the Ravens receiving core. I don't think they're established enough to really be scary, but man, Minnesota needs to prove that Trench can stop the run, and I don't know if they can do that against Baltimore.
It's going to be tough. They're all around they're one of the more well-run teams in the league. I really like Lamar Jackson. I really wanted the Vikings to draft him a long time ago. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll give them. There's always one game of the year where like last year, I kind of figured they would be okay with Sam Darnold, but beating the absolute brakes off of the Texans and then the Niners, 2 playoff teams, 1 Super Bowl team the year before. There was always that one win of the season where you're like, they shouldn't have won that game. Right. This might be it. This is the one. Lost against the Ravens. Yeah, I feel you, Wes. Same thing. Bears, I'm going to have them winning at home.
Oh, yeah, I got that one, too.
That's going to be it. Both of these Bears games are going to be very tough.
I'm not bought in against the Bears yet. I mean, like I said earlier, they're a team on the rise, and they will be a team to watch out for, but I don't think it's going to be this season.
Lay down.
I know you can be the preseason or off-season champions or whatever you want to call them.
Right.
But they aren't quite there yet.
I think they'll be improved. I think it's just growing pains. Caleb Williams is a talented player. I love him to death as a talent, but I can't put my faith in him just making a giant leap just because a new coach gets there. We'll see. And everybody made a big deal about that Buffalo preseason game. He played against second-string players. Are you going to tell me the Vikings defense is going to look like the Buffalo there's just several levels of talent in between that. I can't get on board with, like, he had a good preseason game. Like, get out of here. All right, so the Bears, then going to Green Bay, starting out, they end the season with Green Bay too. I have a loss in Green Bay.
Don't make me say it because I don't want to, but I agree with you.
Yeah, so last year the Vikings swept the Packers. If you remember that first game, it got out of hand very fast, and then the Packers clawed their way back in. I do think they'll split. I had the Vikings going 4-2 in the division this year, sweeping the Bears, but they're going to split with Green Bay and Chicago. These are good teams. One from cleaning up a year ago and sweeping them, they'll split, and then one from losing 2 a year ago, they'll actually split. So there's going to be some ups and downs, but this is all the J.J. McCarthy effect. Maybe he proves me wrong and the Vikings just go on an absolute tear. That'd be great. In Seattle is always tough, and while I do respect the hell out of Seattle's defense, if anybody knows how to rattle Sam Darnold, it will be Brian Flores. And if you remember, I want you guys to channel back and erase everything you remember from the season last year. Do you remember reports from camp with Sam Darnold last year? This defense was fucking him up in camp last year. And I don't think Seattle's offense is nearly as good as the Vikings. So I'm going to put my faith in Brian Flores to just have a grinded out game of just jacking Sam Darnold's day up. And I'm going to give them a win in Seattle, even though that's a tough place to play.
Yeah, I like Minnesota on that one too.
I think the Vikings lose both against the Packers. You know what, MC Sports? I don't like your negativity, and I think you should watch what you say on this show. I'm kidding, man. It could be possible. I'm telling you, I think if there's a sleeper team in the NFC, it is Green Bay. If they put it all together, and you got to think, they had to start out in Philly last year, which is not fun because they won the Super Bowl. Starting out in the wild card in Philly is not fun. The year before, they went to Dallas, and they beat the shit out of Dallas. By the third series, that game was out of hand. So
I got to ask you, do you still consider Washington to be a sleeper team?
Well, I don't think you can go to the NFC Championship game and then go get Laramie Tunsil and then go get Deebo Samuel and everybody be like, shh, I don't think this team's very good. That's the best rookie quarterback season we've ever seen since what? Who had the best rookie season before that? C.J. Stroud, and then like that's the one that you're not going to see every year. That's unfortunately the bar people are going to hold rookies to. That's not going to be attainable.
And I don't think Minnesota matches up well against Washington at all.
I have them taking a big fat L against Washington at home. So, yes, we are right there. I also have them taking an L in Dallas, especially after last. I had them losing in Dallas anyways. They don't particularly play well in Dallas for some weird reason, especially over my lifetime of being a fan. They play well against them in Minnesota most times. But in Dallas, it's kind of rough. But watching them last night, dude, Dallas is not going to roll over for anybody. And if Dak Prescott looks like that the whole season, dude, he was dropping some fucking dimes last night. Some dimes. And if I'm him, I'm looking at CeeDee Lamb like this on the flight home. Like, if you catch that ball at the end of the game, we win, right?
I don't think Dak can stand up to the pressure. I don't. I think they're going to be dialing it up. And
nice.
I think we're going to see a lot of mistakes. And I don't think the cornerbacks from Minnesota really have to be elite in this game because I think they're going to be shaking up Dak right at the point of attack.
I hope you're right, Adam. I'm commenting back for it's all three of us put on there. I'm sorry, it's going to comment 3 times. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Thank you, MC Sports. We appreciate that. We're only giving you grief. I hope you know. So L for me, Dallas. You think they will win? They're going to New York to New Jersey to play the New York Giants. I think they'll win that game. The Giants, I think, will be the most improved top 5 pick team from last year. Everybody's riding the jock of Carolina, saying they're going to be better, and they might. I think this is a legitimate team on the rise. Unfortunately, this is my prediction. I think they play well enough to where the Giants are dumb enough to keep Brian Daboll and the coaching staff around. I think they need a reset there. But I think you and I probably both agree. Russell Wilson ain't starting the whole season there. And we'll probably see Jackson Dart in this game because it'll be the last 3 games of the year. But that front 7 is nasty. Malik Neighbors is absolutely a number 1 receiver. And I just love saying his name, even though he's going to be fighting for running back 3. Cam Scadbrough, what a great name. This is a team that's doing the right things finally after severely fucking up by letting Saquon Barkley go and picking Daniel Jones instead. They're finally moving on from that. Years and years past. I don't think they're a playoff team, but I think that's
they still got some work to do, but they definitely are, I think, moving in a direction that could be good for them in the future.
They are very sneaky. Like, if you don't come and bring it, if you think you take this team lightly of all the teams on this list, they'll absolutely throttle you, and I don't want that to happen. So I'll give the Vikings a win in that game. And I think the Vikings are going to finish out strong. I've got them winning against the Lions and Green Bay because these are home games to end the season. The division should be very much on the line, or at least wild card will be in contention. But I like them to split with Green Bay and Detroit, and I'll take them at home just as a default thing. I'm sure I'll be wrong. I'm sure they'll win away 1 and lose 1 and be something weird. But I think they'll go 4-2 in the division, slightly less than last year. And I think they'll.
I got 2 losses there, and they're going to end up. I have 10-7.
Okay, let me see what mine is. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 7. We disagree on the games, but we wind up the same. Does this do enough to put the Vikings in the playoffs? What do you think?
Oh boy, I think it's going to come down to a tiebreaker, and I would love to see them make the playoffs, but if Minnesota doesn't make the playoffs, they're going to get the narrative like, oh, they regressed so badly. They're not as good of a team as last year, and I think Minnesota's going to be a better team this year, but the road to the playoffs is going to be a lot more difficult. So, even if they don't make it, I think it's going to be okay. I hope they do make it, for my own pocketbook's sake, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm always rooting for them to win. I think what's going to happen is they're going to get to the wild card again, and they're going to have to get over that hump because you can't win Coach of the Year losing the wild card again, and then that was a weird one. There was fires going on. They didn't even play in LA. They played in Arizona. But this is your guy, and even though it was an injury that held him out, this is your guy. You drafted him. He had a year to sit and redshirt basically. If you make it to the playoffs, you better win that freaking game. You better win at least one. He's 0-2 in the playoffs as a coach, and I'm not nearly in the neighborhood of saying Kevin O'Connell's job will be on the line, but it will become a narrative of, yeah, he can get you to the playoffs, and then he exits the first round. That's kind of been a narrative of this team for the last 7 years. They haven't won a playoff game since 2019 when they had that overtime win in New Orleans. And
so I do have a J.J. McCarthy question for you that
Sure.
I'm really curious about because you're hearing a lot of experts and analysts being like, well, this is essentially J.J. McCarthy's rookie year. No,
I don't agree with
he
that.
may not have played football on the field last year, but he was there to observe and just take on that knowledge to learn and develop under the head coach. To say he's a rookie is really discrediting any of the process that he was learning and developing, under the head coach and under the coaches. I just don't feel that's a right statement to make.
Yeah, it's a little, I don't say it's disrespectful. I think it's lazy. This is all like, you just opened up a window for me to just complain today, and I really appreciate that. This is along the lines of laziness when they say, well, Josh Allen has lost in the playoffs to Patrick Mahomes 5 times. They don't play each other. Quarterbacks don't play each other. They play the other team's defense.
The only time they're on the field together is a coin flip.
And when they shake hands when the clock hits 0, dude, it's so stupid. That's such a discredit and a slap in the face, or a spit in the face, should I say, of guys like who are geniuses, like Steve or is it Steve Spagnuolo? That's the coach?
I get the conversation from a marketing aspect. I get it, but from a knowledge standpoint and a practical standpoint, no.
Steve Spagnuolo. I want to make it sure. There's another Spags out there. That's such a slap in the face for that argument of them playing each other. Like, you don't think Patrick Mahomes is a Hall of Famer or whatever. We can have a discussion. You're wrong, but he is. But you have to look at how teams are built. This is a discussion we have to look at for a dynasty like the Patriots for 20 years. Maybe Matt Patricia is a dog shit head coach. I just watched what he did at Ohio State this weekend. That dude knows exactly what he's doing on the defensive side of the ball. And he showed you that for 15 years in New England when he was the coach there defensively, right? It's a slap in the face to say J.J. McCarthy is a rookie. When I watched him play a preseason game last year, looked pretty good, have a down moment, and then bounce back and have an up moment, and then I watched him with a headset on for half the season. So while you don't have film on him, he is going into his sophomore year, and I don't know. I think it's just a lazy way for people to be like, well, this was his first year playing. It's like, how hard is it to say that this is...
I get first-year starter, but why you got to say rookie?
Yeah.
He's essentially a rookie, and everybody says it. Anytime you hear people talk about J.J. McCarthy, they say, essentially a rookie. It's like, no. No, he's not.
I think it's pretty cool that he had all that time to learn, and then not having the pressure this coming up season. They were like, no, you're our guy. We're rolling forward.
Because there's been plenty of quarterbacks that weren't injured that sat that first year and learned and then came out and did quite well.
Yeah, you didn't say Jordan Love's a rookie when he came out at year 4 and started.
Right?
Like, and I get it. I get that 1 year in, you would still feel it's pretty fresh. Like Jordan Love riding the bench for 3 years. He's obviously a seasoned vet at that point. But yeah, it's weird, man. You wouldn't say that about... Once you get past that first year, you're not a rookie anymore. Point blank simple. I don't understand that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think J.J. McCarthy's had his welcome to the league moment yet. It's probably coming.
Oh, yeah. It might come in the form of Montez Sweat or... What's his other guy? No, Hakeem Nicks is not there anymore. Yeah, it might come in the form of the Bears D-line, in a couple of days. Who knows? But...
He's going to take lumps. He's going to grow and develop. We got to be patient. Let him do his growing, and he will be a good quarterback, I believe.
Well, I just want J.J. McCarthy to... I don't want him to try to play hero ball. If there's not a completion to be made, if you're not able to get away and scramble...
What's good is that wasn't who he was in college.
That's you know what? That's a good fallback, Adam. It's not who he was, and I hope that he continues that way. If there's not a completion through the air to make, try to scramble with your legs. If it's not, throw the damn ball out of bounds.
And he is sneaky good with his scrambling.
He is. Yeah, he's at. That's the thing that we didn't really have with Kirk. Shout out to Mr. Dad Arm, Dead Dad.
Kirk has a good arm, but his legs not so much.
Yeah, he kind of runs like a baby giraffe. So I like that these younger kids are more athletic. Sam Darnold showed you last year. He's fast and athletic too. But yeah, he'll do his job. He'll get a couple of scrambles and a couple of rushing touchdowns. But I just want him, if the play's not there, to survive another play. Because what you don't want to do is get into this habit of, well, I have to get the first down. No, you can live to fight another series as long as the other team doesn't get a free 7 or 3 points. That's the end-all, be-all of, like, hey, we don't do that. The good thing about this team...
the conversation that J.J. McCarthy is a question mark coming into the season. Absolutely.
Sure.
But, there aren't a ton of other question marks on this roster at the moment. There's a lack of cornerback depth, sure. But there's also guys that could step up and be big and make big plays at cornerback. So we don't know what Isaiah Rodgers is going to do.
Yeah, I'm hopeful in this group. I love Byron Murphy. I think he's a wonderful player. Isaiah Rodgers is definitely like the most stock that I've seen for a corner in a while. Like, we have a lot of potential. We're hoping to see potential, but I don't know. That's my only like real.
I know they can rush the
mark.
passer. They've got a great group there. The interior linebackers, I love both those guys.
Yep.
They beefed up the defensive line. Yeah, there's a question of how they're going to mesh in Minnesota, but I have faith in those guys. Offensive line, they went out and got ballers.
Yeah, I'm very happy
that.
that they did that because I remember you and I talking about in years past where they go in the 5th and 6th round and they're like, well, we got a guard from Tulane, and you're like, that's going to be our starter? What are you doing?
And Minnesota might have given up a little bit too much to go get Adam Thielen, but I'm not worried about that wide receiver depth anymore, really.
No, I'm not either. The guys that won't be able to play because of an injury, I'm hoping they'll be back for the home opener against Atlanta. It's nothing crazy serious that they're going to be on the pup or anything, but they'll be back around by week 2 or week 3 if they're not ready by Monday night. Adam Thielen will be a great rejuvenation for the locker room and all that. But, yeah, by week 4 when Addison's back, dude, this team's going to be nasty, man.
All right, so I got to ask about MC Sports here with improvement from Dallas Turner. Do you just mean like more sacks? Because his sack rate was 1 sack per 100 snaps. It was actually one of the best in the league, which was pretty cool. I mean, his rate was good. He just wasn't getting the quantity. I mean, and what do you do to get him on the field more? Do you take Andrew Van Ginkel off?
Yeah, it's what's going to happen with him this year, I really feel, is when those two guys that are our legitimate pass rushers, and it depends on the scheme and the play itself, like who's going to be rushing, because you still have Jonathan Allen and
it's all going to be situational football.
But somebody's going to need to rotate out from the linebacker spot to take a rest. And that's where he's going to thrive. I think that's an excellent depth piece. I will never be upset at anyone unless it makes no sense. If the talent's not there, like, the 49ers the other year taking Trey Lance, that was kind of stupid because it didn't really prove anything. But I'll never be mad. Like, the Vikings have Justin Jefferson, and they went and got Jordan Addison. Well, that wasn't a terrible idea, right? Well, I already have a really good receiver.
It's like when you have Chester Taylor and you draft Adrian Peterson.
See? Another and a Vikings example at that, like A++ for that reference, dude. I'm not going to be mad at them for having a good pass rush and being like, you know what, we could use more of.
And remember when Chris Carter was kind of like, why do you got to draft Randy Moss? I'm here.
Yeah. How'd that work out? Just a Hall of Famer there. That's cool.
It's fun looking back on things like that and just kind of laughing,
Yeah, I'm not going to be angry with that. I think that's good motivation for him to get on when he has the opportunities, and I just think that all around your pass rush is more consistently at a higher level because the depth there when he steps in from those two guys who are very good. Like, I think Gink got in the top 100 from players. Jonathan Grenard definitely got voted in the top 50. He finally got his flowers.
Oh, yeah.
So
and Jefferson was what, number 9?
Number 9. Yeah, we should talk about that. Jonathan Grenard in the top 50, Van Ginkel in the top 100, and Jefferson in the top 10. No surprise. I love that. I love that the good players get their recognition where they deserve it. Let me see if let me see this. Vikings players in the top 100 this year. Okay, there we go. So, Jonathan Grenard at 48, Van Ginkel at 88, and Aaron Jones at number 98. Sorry, we didn't want to leave him out. That's cool that he got some love.
I do feel like people are sleeping a little bit on Josh Metellus for all he does.
Yeah, he's not a...
I know he's not a name guy.
He's not a name dude, but if he had a better household recognition, he would have.
If he had Justin Herbert's marketing.
That's funny. Oh, we have to give him his flowers, even though he's on the Seahawks now. Sam Darnold at number 72. That makes my heart happy because God knows if there's ever a shining example of the right situation means everything, it's Sam Darnold, and we got to see it as a fan. Bacon Ader, that's incredible. What's everybody sipping on? I finished a lovely Mountain Dew.
I have absolutely no beverages near me.
I'm kind of parched now. I should have brought my.
I know. As soon as you held that up, I started getting thirsty.
I'm thirsty from drinking soda. Now that the sugar's in my system, I need something to counterbalance that. I'm excited, man. I'm going to watch a little of this Chargers-Chiefs game, and then I'm going to go see the last Conjuring movie tonight. I'm very pumped for that, but I think that's all I've got. We both predicted the Vikings to win on Monday. I'm not going to give you a score because I'm not an analytic nerd and weird about that, but I'm just whatever. I'm excited for the team. I'm really excited to watch the defense. It'll be fun to see Adam Thielen back in purple. I am going to do every week if I can bring it out and I remember every week, I'm going to tell you the player I'm going to focus on. This week I'm focusing on Donovan Jackson. Every single play he's on the field, I'll be watching him. Defensively, I'm putting my eyes on Isaiah Rodgers every single play. If I can see him on the field, that's the only thing I'm paying attention to. I want to see these two key impact players for this team. And, Donovan Jackson's going to have a handful, but that O-line should be greatly improved.
I'm going to be watching those trenches pretty hard because that was an area both on offense and defense that Minnesota really needed to address, and I was so glad they went out and got it. Here's a kind of cool fact. Justin is sober like I am.
Nice. Love that. Our secondary could get cooked. Yeah, I hope not, man. That's like my least confident position group. And I had no idea that Harrison Smith was like out and nursing an injury of some kind. There was no coverage of this. What the hell, man?
There would have been if you read the Viking Age.
I do read the Viking Age once a week when we do the show because I want to.
But I believe that was an Adam Patrick article.
Yeah, I didn't know that, man. So we'll see if Harry the Hitman starts Monday, and then also Darisaw should be a game time decision. It sounds like he could be ready to go, but they may err on the side of caution. We'll see.
Speaking of game time decisions, my fantasy team is not loving the Christian McCaffrey situation.
Damn it. You and I both, dude. I can't say because it's very vulgar, but I basically said this dude's going to screw over my entire year. So I'm going to give you guys my team. I had my home improvement stuff here that I was going to show you what I'm doing here. If you see my green background. So this is going to go right behind me here. Got some wooden slats. And then this on this side, I'm actually going to hang one of my guitars, and I have this frame right over here. It's going to look really nice. That's my project this weekend. But, yeah, why don't you guys cook me in the chat real quick because I'm an idiot, and I decided to not draft a wide receiver until, like, the 4th round, which that's my own dumbass fault for doing that. Round 1, Christian McCaffrey. Listen, I was the 8th pick out of 10, and Christian McCaffrey's staring me in the eye, fluttering his pretty little eyes at me at number 8. I said, of course I'm going to take him. Why wouldn't I? No chance.
I had number 10 in a 10-man league. That's not great.
No chance 2 years in a row he's going to start the season not healthy. Cool. With pick 13, doing the snake where I come right back around, I took Jonathan Taylor. I love when a guy is 1 year, he leads the league in something. Next year he doesn't. I think there's more chance to come back to reality. I don't think with Daniel Jones being there that they're going to be like, oh, we're just going to air it out. I would turn around and hand it to Jonathan Taylor. So I was really confident with those two. Here's where I messed up. I looked at flex instead of best wide receiver available, and I took another running back in round
No, that's
3.
okay.
I took James Cook. I think Buffalo is going to have a great offense.
Ooh.
I don't think they have a very amazing wide receiver core. So I said, hey, they'll probably give him the ball a lot. Maybe he can catch.
There's no way he repeats his touchdown numbers from last year.
You shut your
No
mouth,
chance.
Adam. You shut your mouth. Don't say that.
Now my sleeper wide receiver pick, I like it even more now.
Who did you
I
pick?
took Jacoby Myers,
Oh yeah, that's a good
and
one.
now with Amari Cooper retiring from and saying I don't think I'm gonna play for the Raiders this year. I'm just gonna call it quits.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's true. Forgot about this. We should have reported on that. Thanks, Justin. Yeah, I took in the 4th round. I got Xavier Worthy. Can't go wrong with somebody catching a ball from Patrick Mahomes. They'll throw it a lot. He'll be fine. The next one.
Well, I thought AJ Brown was gonna be fine.
Yeah, but they also have a fullback at quarterback, as my meme said earlier. DJ Moore, he doesn't get enough love. I still don't think Roma Dunze is the number 1 in Chicago. DJ Moore was a force to be reckoned with in Carolina.
There's a lot of mouths to feed there.
That's very true. Keenan Allen leaving makes it a little bit more easy, but they also got a good tight end that they're probably going to throw to. So I had to pick someone. He's been pretty consistent and reliable.
No, I did grab Calvin Ridley, which I like.
That's a good one. Yeah, especially depending on where you got him. I don't mind that pick at all.
I want to say round 7.
Oh yeah, that's great. That's great value. For me, in round 6, I took our hometown boy, T.J. Hawkinson.
I know that rookie quarterback in Tennessee likes to swing it. He flings it all over the place.
Dude, I've said it 10 times on this show. I'm such a Cam Ward fan. He's just like, I just want to play football. No nonsense. I love that. Yeah, round 6, I took T.J. Hawkinson. I am not a guy who takes a quarterback in round 3. If you take a quarterback that high, I hope that you perennially have a nail in your tire. You are annoying, and you should never do that. Don't do that. Be smarter.
So I took this whole draft at tight end, and I thought, okay, I am going to grab my sleeper tight end at the end, and I don't care who my first tight end drafted is. I ended up with Tucker Kraft
Okay,
as
good
my
pick.
first tight end, and I was like, oh, that's okay. And then I went and grabbed that Colts tight end,
I'm hearing a lot of good stuff about him, dude.
that Tyler Warren.
You know what? Honestly, what it came down to, I looked at projected points and need. I was going to get him as a backup. I ended up getting Dallas Goedert, which is also a great backup.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to get him, but instead, a couple of rounds later, in round 9, I took Jordan Addison because he's suspended and nobody thought about it. And I thought, you know what? When he comes back, you don't think he's going to get some catches?
Right?
He's a great flex player to
And
come in.
judging by what I saw from him and McCarthy in the preseason, they seem to be on the same page.
Look, Justin Jefferson's going to Justin Jefferson. We all know that.
yeah.
But he's going to draw double coverage every game. Who do you think is going to be open? T.J. Hawkinson and Jordan Addison are going to be open damn near every draw. I will put my money on that. So I love that, getting him in the 9th round. Another flex player that I got, Bo Nix was my quarterback in 7. Round 8, I got Jameson Williams. I think he'll have a good year. I think he's going to have a breakout year. That sucks for us as a fan base. But, dude, if he can just not get suspended if he could just be healthy, dude, he's fast as shit.
And if that OC can drive up something for them,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm interested to see how different their offense and defense are going to be in Detroit. It's going to be a fun season, I know that.
So I talked about Jordan Addison round 9. So 10 through 16, I'll fire off real quick. I took my defense. I got the number 1 ranked defense in round 10. Probably could have waited a little more, but if I messed up on wide receiver and I got a bargain value at quarterback, I said I have to be strong in the 2 old school places, and that's defense and running. So I'm very good on defense and running. I took the Steelers defense in 10. Dallas Goedert's my backup tight end. Ramondre Stevenson, not too good with that pick, but he was the best available option. I took a flyer on Nick Chubb in round 13. Joe Mixon's going to start the year on PUP. That might be a sneaky good pick.
I had Mr. Irrelevant in our league, and with that I grabbed Chris Godwin because I figure, okay, he's a little banged up right now. People don't really want him.
Mm-hmm.
But he's on a good offense that's going to throw a lot of passes, and that might pay off down the road.
I love that, man. You love to see if that works out. You're gonna feel extra smart about yourself. Rounding it out, Trevor Lawrence is my backup quarterback. I have Hollywood Brown for depth at wide receiver, and I took Jake Elliott with my last pick. I know Philly's gonna get a lot of extra points because they're gonna score a lot of touchdowns.
That's
So,
right.
Yeah, my team is they're very run heavy. But
Are you able to say your team name on the podcast?
big old gritties. Because we're going to have a lot of big old gritties because Justin Jefferson's going to have a lot of touchdowns. Yeah, I wanted to do a bunch of puns, but The puns for NFL fantasy football names are so racy now and so bad.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I'm going to tell you one that I'm going to leave my friend unnamed, but somebody named their team Josh Downs Syndrome. And while there's comedy in that, I was like, oh no, that's too much.
Yep.
I said, oh
Dial
shit,
that back a little bit.
that's too much. That's kind of where it is. My brother named one of his fantasy football teams Crashy Rice.
Oh boy.
And I was like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, I'm going to laugh at the joke because the joke's funny. As long as it's not outright, like, racism, sexism, homophobic crap. Like, I'm not going to do that, you know? But if there's comedy in there, I'm going to laugh at it. But I was like, even that made me be like, damn, that's kind of flirting with the edge. Obviously, you don't have to wonder what my team name is about. But I didn't use a pun this time. I just wanted to have, I said, who is the face of the team? Jefferson. All right. And you know what? A long time ago, I had one like this with Teddy Bridgewater. It was "Show Me Your Teddies," so a little more straight to the point this year. But yeah, what's your team? What's your fantasy team name?
Push that tush.
Nice. You know what? I respect that. We got a year left of the tush push. I think they'll probably ban it next year, but that's cool.
Oh no,
Hey!
we have Bear Dog in here.
You know what? Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate that. AC Adam, nice. Where are you? We're about to end the show, AC Adam. But where are you located, and how long have you been a Bears fan? We're not one of those podcasts that likes to talk shit. I just don't have the energy to do it. Maybe I'm too old.
And I think we have too much respect for other teams to really just dog on them.
Yeah, you mean we're not like the Philadelphia fan base? Weird, Adam. We have class and morals. That's crazy, dude. Thank you for tuning in. I'll be shameless here, AC Adam. Give us a like. You don't have to subscribe to the channel, but like the episode if you don't mind and you want to show us some love. We'll put your comment up if you end up commenting soon on where you're from. And
if you want to come back next week when we talk about what happens in this game, that'd be pretty cool.
I'm sure if you're a Bears fan, you think you're going to win because you're hosting Monday night. I predict the Vikings to win, but I said it earlier in the show. I don't think this is a gimme at all. I think
it's not going to be easy.
They're very improved, and if it goes the other way, I won't be shocked in the least. That's a tough place to play. Good old Soldier Field. I remember a decade ago when it was almost a given we were going to lose there, and Jay Cutler was going to play like he was a freaking all-pro because he always played good against the Vikings. It pissed me off, man.
But I think we ran long enough for this episode, so we'll probably call her.
Yeah, that's it. I'm not going to put them up on the screen. I'm just going to give it, not a visual for this. But if you're listening, we appreciate everything. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Give the like. If you're on Facebook, give it a heart. Let us know that you're supporting the show. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. That would be wonderful.
We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitch. We're on Kick. We're all over the place. And if you listen later, do you know what? We're on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts and Stitcher and any place you really find podcasts, you can probably find us.
We appreciate the love and the support anywhere. I know that doesn't sound. We usually don't ever ask for money or anything like that. We just ask you for a little help in the promotion department. You'll pump up our numbers. And AC Adams says, "Hey guys, Chicago, been Bears fan."
Almost 30 years of a Bears fan.
Hey, you know what? Shout out to you for jumping in a Vikings pod. And I know you probably saw the graphic or whatever. I don't know where you found us, but respect.
Well, you probably searched Bears, and we got that in our title.
Hey, we appreciate you. You know what? Thank you so much for jumping in. Respect to you, and thank you for taking a little time for us. We do appreciate that so much.
Absolutely. And check out my work on the Viking Age if you're ever interested in Minnesota Vikings stuff. Otherwise, you can check me out on social media at MNVikingZombie.
Yeah, MN Viking Zombie. We keep talking about it, and we'll finally do it. I don't know if you're interested to watch The Conjuring. That we could start there, but Adam, since it's coming around to Halloween time, the fall is upon us. We're going to start getting into the horror, mood a lot.
It is pumpkin spice time.
Yeah, it is PSLs for everybody now. Yeah, we'll do some horror movie reviews on his channel at MN Viking Zombie. But please go support his work at the Viking Age. That's how he makes a living. If you just click on the articles that he writes, his numbers go up, his money goes up. We appreciate that. You can follow me at NC Dog Dude, NC like North Carolina, Dog Dude on Instagram or TikTok.
Kyle Smith's been working on his music too.
I have. Actually, I'm going to send it to you. We put my song and the melody. So I just have to say, I came up with the music, the chord progression, the melodies, the lyrics, and all that. they have AI formats and processors to do that now. So this does sound very much like a southern rock kind of song. But I'll send you the file, man. My mother's song has a bass line now of drums, guitar, bass, and it sounds pretty good, dude. It sounds like a legitimate 2000s rock radio hit, and I'm very proud of it. So I'll send it to you. We're going to start tracking that hopefully either this weekend or I think I'm off Tuesday. But I've already started testing out my, you can't see my little studio here, but it's happening, man. I
don't remember Kyle West's stats and stuff, but I know he has great photography and
yeah,
he's got some awesome artwork that you can check out. And it's, we've all got some cool stuff going on right now. I'm still going through my weight loss journey and things are going pretty good on that. So, I mean, hey, it's a good time.
You got some good news today. I'm happy for you, my friend.
So thanks again for everyone who joined us. We'll be back next week to talk about what happened in that game against Chicago and preview what's going to happen next week against, I don't remember who.
Atlanta for the home opener on Sunday night next week, but we will review the Bears game.
That's what he said. Sweet. Yeah, I've been telling Kyle Smith, make a song for the beginning. Instead, he went with a microwave.
You know what? I could probably do that. I have this really cool amp behind me. I just got this guitar right here. There it is, the one in the middle. It's very nice, and I could probably figure out an intro for the show and put some distortion and have a cool like rock and roll vibe.
Because the one we were using got us strikes for...
The one that was given to us got us flagged. Like, what are you doing? I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know either. We'll play their game, I guess.
Yeah.
But all right, thanks again, and remember to stay classy, Minnesota.
And now the long